Okay, this will be episode 3 in the sprinkler system upgrade. Being naive, I think, is sometimes a good thing. If I know what I know now, I probably wouldn't have made that first cut and started this replacement. But I'll be glad when it's over. So that's the new manifold. Now I got some challenges how I'm going to tie this in. So I'm going out with my multi-master cutoff tool. I'm cutting the old manifold out. And then I'm going to start figuring out how I'm going to tie in this new manifold. Okay, so I've already laid out my cuts. This is the main line coming into the old manifold. I'm going to cut it here. I'm basically cutting to give myself enough pipe because I still have to do some engineering to figure out how I'm going to get this new manifold in here. This is the zone 6 that was messed up with 2 valves on it. I'm going to cut it here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 I'm not going to use. But I drilled holes in it yesterday just to let the water drain down so I'm not working in a big puddle of water. So got my multi-master tool plugged in. I'm going to start here and then go on up. Okay, there's still a lot of water in those lines, and I do have my tool plugged into a GFI outlet so I don't get electrocuted. That's the 5 supply lines cut. Now I'm cutting the main manifold. Alright, now I just have to pull out the old manifold. There it is. So I went over the reasons that I was going down this path to change the whole manifold out in my first video, but just to go over it quick. So one of the main reasons is these valves can't be changed. They're glued in both sides, so there's no way to change a valve out. Problem number 1, which means if a valve goes bad, all you can do is the diaphragms are what go bad, or a solenoid.
So you can take it apart. If you can find a new diaphragm, put a new diaphragm in. If solenoid goes bad, change the solenoid out. But a lot of people buy a whole new valve and just strip the guts out. This is 25 years old, so I want to replace all new valves with the quick connect fittings, where if a valve goes bad, no matter what, they're 31 bucks a piece, so just change the whole valve out. Second problem, second reason I changed this out. This is was my zone, one of my zones that had half the water pressure as the other ones. And here's what happened. So apparently at some point this valve went bad. So what they did to fix it is just put another valve over here, T90 this line up into another valve and out. And just the studying I've done since I've started this project, Rainbird says you do not install these vertical. They're meant to be installed horizontal. So I don't know if that was a problem. I took the end of this valve off, the solenoid, because I was looking at the diaphragm before I decided to change this whole thing out. In fact, I changed the diaphragm out, and did nothing for my water pressure, and then caused another problem where it wouldn't shut off. So when that happened, and then the third reason was all this crazy wiring that had a big bird's nest of wiring, and I just couldn't stand that, so I needed to fix it. So that's the reason. That's the logic that led me down the path to change the whole manifold.
All right, so I'm back on my irrigation project. Today I'm going to install the manifolds. So here's what I got. We had an over an inch of rain yesterday, so I got rained out. But I've decided to tie my. I don't have enough room in here. The problem with doing a job like this is all my plumbing out to the heads is already installed. So I can't. I originally was going to install the manifold like this, but I just don't have enough room to get from that input side. By the time this inlet side will be on the other end, it was just using up this whole space. So I've decided to turn it like this and tie, so this will tie into, this is the inside input, so this will tie into here. And I was only able to basically to center this valve in my hole. I have this concrete walkway here, so I don't have, I can't relocate this either back this way because of the house or to the right. So I had to make this manifold fit in this hole. So I decided to run the lines out, up, and back into the manifold. So this will be centered in my hole. The only problem I had was I couldn't get all 5 lines on this manifold. So I'm going to tie in, this is sitting where each line is right here. So this is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 is over here. And I'm going to come off with another line, and the single portion of this manifold I'm going to tie in coming out of this bottom one here. And then this pipe here is just a leftover from an old project. This stanchion, I just stuck it in the ground. It was an old project that I recycled to just support the manifold. The manifold will sit on top of this, and then it'll be attached here, the input line, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 lines
will come over and up into the manifold. So that's the plan. And then I had to buy 2 extra parts from Action Machining to separate this from the main manifold. To basically the valve will be in here somewhere. It'll come out T over, 90 over into my valve, and then back out to the pipe feeding the sprinkler heads. So that's what we're doing today. Okay, so I did as much glue up on the workbench as I could. So I determined I needed from center line of the manifold, which is the center of all the pipes, down to the center line of my outgoing pipes. It was 4.5 inches. So I glued up my drops. So I got 4.5 inches from center line of the pipe to center line of this pipe. Yeah, so far these quick connect fittings are the way to go. The assembly part is going to be much easier because I can take these off, glue them in, glue my connection piece without this on, and then just connect this up when I'm done with getting these pieces glued in. Okay, this is the test fit. I left them a little long. So I have everything glued up except this last fitting here. So these are just pushed on. So I need to cut a little bit off each one. In retrospect, I should have left this one. This is glued. I should have done this one last. So I could have glued this up, and wherever this landed, then I could have made that move. Now I'm going to have to make four adjustments. So that's a lesson learned there. All right, did my cuts off each end of the pipe, anywhere from 300 thousandths to almost an inch down on this end. So now, do I test fit it or do I glue it and go? All right, so I'm gluing them up. This one, number 2, I glued and screwed in just to kind of anchor it. And then I have to get up into here. So that was the hardest one. Now I'm doing the second hardest, which is number 4. If something's not right, I'm trying to pull it off before it sets up. Good thing I've been doing my yoga, because this is no fun. All right, there's 2. It looks like the other ones are going to go in easy, so I'll go ahead and put those in. All right, so they all went in. Tighten all the quick connect fittings down just until everything sets up, and then I'm going to break these loose and hit them good with silicone spray. So I look good. The last piece is to tie into this, which I've got enough flex here to do that. So I'm lined up there. Again, if I would have done that one last, installed this fitting last, I would have been a lot better off. But yeah, I'm pleased with that. And again, this pipe here is just a support. Just an old piece of pipe I had in my shop. Just jammed it in the ground to lay this on while I was gluing it. So once everything's in there, it's just a support bracket. So yeah, I'm pleased. So far so good. Okay, this will be the end of episode 3. I've got 4 of the 5 valves tied in. So far so good. The last valve I'm going to tie into this line coming out here. So its outgoing line is that one down there. So I'm going to come out with that line and tee over to the main line coming down. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it yet. Whether up here, I got a lot of options where to go with this last one. So it was just too hard tying in this 5th valve. I just didn't have enough room to tie it into this manifold. So it's just as easy, well, it's much easier to just tee off the main line into this. I had to buy another fitting for this end and then another cap for that end. So yeah, this will be the end of episode 3. Episode 4 will be doing the wiring and tying in my new controller that I can control from I can control everything from my phone.